back to DIY with Fiona. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, there will be no surprise that I love houseplants for your home. Adding greenery to your space is great because it adds such a nice natural element to any room. And you just get such a good sense of accomplishment when you see your plants thriving and growing and doing well in your space. My first ever YouTube video was about my collection of houseplants, and since that video, my plants have been growing a lot and they've been thriving, and some of them are ready to be repotted. So I'll show you which plants I decided were ready to be repotted, why I thought they were ready, and just walk you through the process of repotting them. If you guys find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps my little baby channel out. And please comment below if you guys have any tips or tricks on repotting your plants. All right, time to get our green thumbs on. The first plant we'll be repotting is my basil, aka Basil. This plant has grown so much and I've propagated it so many times. It started in this small little container and it's been propagated into multiple pots, some which I've given away as gifts. Sometimes it's hard to tell if your plants have grown or not, but seeing how small the pot is when it started shows us it's grown a lot. And now we're repotting it into a much bigger pot. We'll be combining the two separate basils into one larger pot over here. Repotting plants is super easy. I use this Miracle-Gro moisture control potting mix, which helps the soil not retain too much moisture, which creates root rot. I filled the pot a little over halfway with the potting mix since it's such a deep pot. Then, after I've filled it halfway, I ease the plant out of its current pot by squeezing it along the sides to loosen it from the pot. Then it easily slides out of the pot. You can see the roots starting to get confined at the bottom of the soil, which means the roots need more space to grow, hence the larger pot. Loosen up the roots at the bottom without ripping the roots, so it'll help the roots start stretching out in its new pot. I did the same thing to the other potted basil, and you can tell from the yellowing leaves that it was not getting enough nutrients from the soil anymore. And once I took it out of the pot, you can see how completely root bound this plant is. I probably should have repotted this a few months ago, but I'd been procrastinating. The basil is super easy to grow, so I'm confident it'll bounce back quickly. I took some time to pick off the yellow leaves from the bottom and any of the leaves that have fallen off. I just squeezed the two groups of basils into the pot and filled up the rest of the pot with more potting mix. Give it a water and you have a newly repotted basil plant. So my Chinese money plants have confused me a little. They haven't been doing great since the bottom leaves became yellow and drooping quite frequently. So I thought there was something wrong with the plant, with it being root bound, but I realized later that it wasn't. I was just repotting them into slightly larger pots, potting up as they say, and just started filling the bottom of the pot with the potting mix I used previously. Ease your plant out of the pot, and as you can see, it's not root bound at all. But feeling the soil, I could tell the soil was pretty damp, so I think the yellowing and drooping was from the soil staying too wet and not draining well. So hopefully with this new potting mix and larger pots with lots of draining holes, these money plants can thrive in its new environment. Over here, I'm just checking if there's any root damage, which I didn't see any root rot happening, which was a good sign. I didn't realize how little roots there were, so I had to fill the pot with a bit more soil before I repotted the plant. Put your Chinese money plant into the pot, make sure it's centered, and fill it up with the rest of the potting mix. As you can see with the second Chinese money plant I have, it was also not root bound at all, so I think it was just the wet soil that was making the leaves yellow. Time will tell if these plants are going to love their new home in their new pots. Again, after I finished repotting both of these plants, I watered them. Next, we'll be repotting a golden pothos. Unlike the two plants before, I didn't decide to repot this because it was looking malnourished. It was actually doing quite the opposite. The golden pothos has been thriving and doing really well, and it's grown to a point where it's spilling out of the pot and drowning the little plant pot that it came from. I decided it was ready for a new home that would fit the size of the plant it had become. I bought a set of 5 white plant pots from Amazon. I'll link it in the description below. They're really inexpensive and I love how sleek they look. And most importantly, they have a drainage hole and a saucer to catch any water flowing out. It's super important to find pots with drainage holes so your plant doesn't sit in water, which leads to root rot. The golden pothos is going from a 4-inch pot to a 5.5-inch pot, so it'll give it a bit more space for the roots to grow and for this plant to get even bigger. Like the other plants, we'll be lining the bottom of the plant pot with a layer of potting mix. Place your plant into the larger pot and fill the sides of the pot with more potting soil until the pot is full. As you can see here, the plant isn't root bound at all and it's been growing so quickly, so I think putting it in this larger pot will really encourage it to continue to grow and thrive. And also, I just think it looks proportionally better in this larger pot too, with this many new leaves. If you guys want a low maintenance, easy to grow plant, a golden pothos is definitely the way to go. Last but not least, we'll be repotting the Croton. This Croton has been a fantastic houseplant. It needs direct light to keep the colors on the leaves vibrant. It's really easy to tell if it needs water. The leaves will droop when it's thirsty and it'll perk right back up after it's been watered. There were no signs that it needed to be repotted yet, but it had grown significantly since I got it 11 months ago. When I took the Croton out of its original pot, I realized it did start getting root bound. So as you can see, the roots are gathering at the bottom, so it was actually a really good timing to pot up. Like the other plants, I filled the new pot with potting soil before adding my Croton, and then filled the rest of it until the potting mix was just a 1/2 inch from the rim. I used the same pot as the golden pothos, which will be great since it has a drainage hole and saucer as well. As you can see, repotting plants are so very easy, and hopefully this video gives you an idea of when your plants are ready to be potted up. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys found it helpful and that when your plants are thriving and ready to be repotted, that this video will be a helpful tool for you guys. Please comment below on which plants you guys have in your home and if they're ready to be repotted as well. I'm always excited to learn about different kinds of houseplants, unique ones, easy to grow ones, so comment below and let me know what you guys have in your space. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more DIY and home decor content. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!